It's your boy, I love you, Jace, and I'm just giving you a quick reaction to the Invincible episode 5, and also, the Invincible. All right, it's your boy, I love you, Jace. Just giving you a quick reaction to the Invincible new episode and the two episodes of The Boys. We'll give it like a full review alongside Derek and Derek and Dark Drago real soon. But right now I'm just talking about it. Just watch all three of the episodes. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, in my area, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, let's start off with the Invincible episode. It was pretty dope. Like I was wondering how they were gonna do that time lapse of Wood and Mark Hill, and Nolan and Oliver basically starting to bond and stuff, and they basically had to do a 2 month time jump, essentially throughout the episode, which was pretty cool to see. Um, see them grow as father and son, and also Oliver needed some training, bro. Like, everybody know Oliver needed some training, so it was nice to see that, and then also see the Viltrumite War finally get started and it getting flipped on the coalition side of things. I was definitely hyped to see that, and um, just to see all the stakes in it. Like it really felt like a real dire situation, especially towards the end when Nolan and Mark and everybody comes back and they attack the planet and you got traders and all the other shit. You just see all the devastation. It basically mirrored, Earth. And it's like every time Vegemite gets on a planet, bro, they just cause nothing but destruction. And that's the main reason why they gotta go. So I'm very hyped to see the next episode. Um, Hopefully we get that scene from the comic books of, the whole Vegemite Nolan gang running through the motherfucking planet. I kind of alluded to that with them blasting through the ship. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty cool to see too. But all three of them running through Planet Viltrum will be an elite scene. Will be an elite scene, and I can't wait to see Thrag in action. I'm waiting on that. On to the boys. First episode was crazy. They always start off with complete bangers. RP A Train, man. You know what I'm saying? Spoilers, spoilers. RP A Train. That shit was insane, bro. I knew it was coming. I knew it was gonna come to an end real soon. If you look at the trailers, he pretty much was wearing the same thing in each of the trailers, so you knew he wasn't gonna be in too many more scenes after that. And I'm interested to see how much Jim V is in this. I don't know because they kind of hyped up Monroe being like the second tier or same tier as Homelander, them being from the same Odessa, class of heroes. So I'm very hyped to see what happens with that. And then you know, just to see how I like how they kind of built out the story because I was wondering how they were gonna, you know, um, bring Butcher and the boys back together after how the last season ended. You know what I'm saying? The stakes in that with Butcher having powers and him having done what he did, like taking Victoria Newman out in front of everybody and then basically threatening the rest of the team, like what I'm saying, y'all don't get the hell out the way, I'm gonna do this to you too, what I'm saying. All of that, kind of hit ahead. So I was wondering how they're gonna collapse that, but yeah, everybody seems to be understanding like it's for the greater good, because there's a lot of innocent people at stake versus the soups. The soups can probably go. The soups wasn't never natural. It was never a natural occurring thing. It's something that was scientifically created. So the world could do away without the soups, but they can't do away without the humans being slaves. So I definitely like that angle. Um, I'm very interested to see if they wind up with powers, just like they do in the comics. Everybody gets get their compound V in their system essentially, and then see Butcher take out everybody one by one. We'll see if that happens. Those are more spoilers. Um, Graphic now. So, um, we going to the second episode. 'Cause I literally forgot it was the second episode. I was just looking at the first one, and I was like, "Damn, there's another one coming on after that." Because it was just complete silence after that. And then, oh, real quick, let me go back to Invincible. I love the end credit scene. Like you sit up there with all that build up. You sit up there thinking like legit, you about to get conquest come out the ground. I was like, oh, bro, what the fuck? Then they just, nothing but wind gusts and shit. I was like, okay, that was a nice fake out. But it definitely had me worried for a second. I was like, I don't remember Conquest coming back for a third time, other than that alternate universe, but they haven't shown that yet. I don't know if they'll get into that story mode or not. But yeah, man. Back into the boys. Whew, whew. Back into the boys, man. Pause. Back to the boys. Even pause on that, it's crazy. But that show, season two, episode two, and it's the funeral of A Train and everything settling in, and the gang's all together. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna test this virus. They show the the boys universe version of Thing, and he's just a fat blob. Like he's kind of like the blob in the Thing put together, man. It's just that was crazy to see. Them building up more lore of the heroes and what type of heroes can be existing in this universe. Um, and then him not being able to breathe and shit, and him just being having to talk through that damn computer, like that shit was insane to see. Um, Soldier Boy's back, you know, a fan favorite, a fan favorite character who wasn't around at all last season, other than the little cameo of him being frozen. Um, well, Homelander saying that he was frozen. He, we definitely knew he was frozen during the last season, and yeah, I think he adds a lot of stakes to this, a lot of stakes to this, and obviously now we see at the end he's immune to the damn virus. He just rose up like Undertaker. I was waiting for that to happen, so I'm wondering if that's the angle. Like that's my theory. My theory is Homelander's gonna want to get that top tier version of Compound V and inject it into himself. Because obviously, with A Train showed that you can take Compound V multiple times and then amplify your powers. But he was abusing it, so that's why it got messed up in the long run. But imagine if Homelander gets his hands on the pure version, the first version of Compound V, and it amplifies his power to another level. He'll essentially be immortal like a Soldier Boy, as we're seeing, or I'm messing up his girl's name. Stormfront, like a Stormfront. She was. I wouldn't say she was invulnerable because Ryan blacked the half, the hell and back, missing arms and half of her face and hair, and couldn't even talk for real. But she still was alive. She took herself out. I think they don't really get into that. I don't know if she took herself out, or he took her out, or somebody else took her out. But they make it seem like she took herself out. So I don't know. But yeah, that's my theory. I think he searches for that first version of Compound V to amplify his power, so he could become immortal past the virus. And then we got to figure out what happens from there. I don't know who beats him once he gets that in his blood, or maybe Ryan does, because Ryan technically would have that in his blood. But if he has that in his blood, then home. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to get too deep in it. I haven't been looking at any of the rumors, any of the spoilers for this season, so I'm very interested to see. Oh yeah, and shout out to Kimiko, man. Kimiko out here talking normal and shit. It's very weird trying to have an adjustment period to that, and also see Mother's Milk dealing with PTSD. Shout out to him for getting that kill against what's his name? Sausage Fest. Don't know his name. Love Sausage. He killing Love Sausage. That was a crazy win. He did that shit with just pure hands too, bro. Like he ain't even need no powers. Like that was crazy. It's a nice buff to Mother's Milk. You know what I'm saying? Been in the prison, been in the concentration camp. over here, working on his fighting skills and shit. Then got right. Frenchie out here sober. I love them showing the slight growth in the characters and it when it being a time jump. So yeah, man. Hopefully Maeve comes back. Hopefully Maeve's come back. Maeve comes back, and who knows? Maybe she's pregnant with Butcher's baby. You know what I'm saying? They had that moment when he was on Temp B and stuff, and they have it's another superpower kid out there. That'd be crazy to see. But yeah, man, this has just been a little quick review of all three of those episodes. I mean, not a quick review, but a quick reaction to all three of those episodes. Amazing TV. Um, I'm probably gonna start doing the last couple episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I'm seem to be the only one watching that, so we'll get on that, and that'll be on the channel. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. We're on all streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? Pro Conversations podcast. Um, you got Moot Knows Ball. Moot Knows Ball will be dropping tomorrow. Well, dropping today, actually. Dropping today in a few hours. And like I said, we'll have the full review coming up real soon on Pro Conversations podcast. But right now, it's your boy, I Love You, Jace. We out.